Chapter 1. I stood in the garden trying not to vomit as I watched Jason marry someone else. The woman he chose over me was beautiful. Perfect, actually. Everything I apparently wasn't. My hands trembled as I clutched my champagne glass, so hard I thought it might shatter. I shouldn't have come. God, I was so stupid to think I could handle this. The ceremony had just ended and everyone was laughing, celebrating, taking photos. Meanwhile, I was hiding behind the rose bushes like a coward, mascara running down my face, trying to remember how to breathe. 3 months ago, Jason had looked me in the eyes and promised forever. 2 months ago, I found him in bed with her. 1 month ago, he sent me a wedding invitation like some kind of sick joke. And here I was dressed in my best dress, pretending I was over it. Pretending I didn't want to die inside. I let out a sob I'd been holding in for hours. Then another. Then I couldn't stop. Crying at weddings is normal. But something tells me these aren't happy tears. I spun around so fast I nearly fell off my heels. A man stood 3 feet away, watching me with dark eyes that seemed to see right through my soul. He was tall, probably 6'3", wearing a black suit that looked more expensive than my entire year's rent. His face was hard, angular, like it had been carved from stone. A thin scar ran along his jawline. He wasn't handsome in a traditional way. He was dangerous. The kind of man your mother warns you about. "I'm fine," I lied, wiping my face with the back of my hand. "You're a terrible liar." He stepped closer and pulled out a black silk handkerchief from his pocket. "Here." I stared at it like he was offering me a snake. "I don't know you. Killian Cross." His voice was deep, cold, completely emotionless. "And you're Aria Bennett, the ex-fiancé who's pretending not to care that the man she loved is marrying someone else." My breath caught. "How do you know my name?" "I make it my business to know things." He gestured with the handkerchief again. "Take it. You look pathetic." That should have offended me. Instead, something about his brutal honesty made me laugh. A horrible, broken sound that turned into more crying. I snatched the handkerchief and pressed it to my face. "Thank you," I whispered. "Don't thank me yet." Killian moved beside me, staring out at the reception happening beyond the garden. "I have a proposition for you." I looked up at him through blurry eyes. "What?" "Be my girlfriend. Publicly. For the next 3 months." I blinked. Then I laughed again because surely this was a joke. "Excuse me? You want revenge on the man who humiliated you. I need to appear settled and committed for business reasons. We can help each other." His expression never changed. He could have been discussing the weather. "You're insane." "Possibly." He turned those cold eyes on me. "But I'm also your only way out of this pathetic display you're currently putting on. Imagine walking back in there on my arm. Imagine the look on his face." My heart pounded. The idea was crazy. Absolutely insane. But God, the thought of Jason seeing me with someone like Killian, someone who radiated power and danger, someone who made Jason look like a boy playing dress-up. "I don't even know you," I said weakly. "You don't need to. You just need to stand next to me and look pretty. I'll handle the rest." He extended his hand. "Do we have a deal?" This was wrong. Every instinct screamed at me to run. But my pride, my broken heart, my desperate need to not feel so completely worthless anymore. It all pushed me forward. I took his hand. His grip was firm, cold, and the moment our skin touched, something shifted in his expression. Just for a second, like he recognized me. But then it was gone, replaced by that same unreadable mask. "Good," he said. "Now dry your eyes. We're going back to that reception, and you're going to smile like you've never been happier in your entire life." "I can't just." "Yes, you can." His hand moved to my lower back, proprietary and commanding. "Because Aria, your old life just ended. Your new one starts now." Before I could process what was happening, he was leading me back toward the reception. My legs moved automatically, my mind spinning. What had I just agreed to? Who was this man? We entered through the garden doors, and the first person to see us was Jason. He was standing near the champagne fountain, his arm around his new bride, and when his eyes landed on me beside Killian, his face went white. "Aria?" His voice cracked. Killian's hand tightened on my waist. "Jason, congratulations on your marriage. Beautiful ceremony." His tone was pleasant, but there was something underneath it. A threat. "I don't believe you've met my girlfriend." The entire reception seemed to stop. Every conversation died. Everyone turned to stare. Jason's bride looked confused. "Girlfriend? Aria, I thought you were. Single?" "I was." I forced a smile, channeling every ounce of fake confidence I possessed. Until 3 weeks ago. Killian and I have been keeping things private. The lies rolled off my tongue so easily it scared me. But the look on Jason's face made it worth it. Shock. Disbelief. And unless I was imagining it, jealousy. Killian Cross. Someone behind us whispered. Isn't he the businessman who owns half the city? I heard he's dangerous. I heard he has mob connections. No way. That's just rumors. Killian smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. He leaned down and pressed a kiss to my temple, and I felt his lips brush against my ear as he whispered. Breathe. You're doing perfectly. But my mind was racing. Mob connections? What had I just gotten myself into? Jason stepped forward, anger replacing his shock. Aria, can we talk privately? I don't think so, Killian answered for me. We were just leaving, actually. Aria has had enough excitement for one evening. He guided me toward the exit, and I let him, too stunned to protest. People parted for us like Moses and the Red Sea. I caught glimpses of shocked faces, heard whispers following us. Outside, a black Mercedes was waiting. The driver opened the door without being asked. Get in, Killian ordered. Wait. I pulled back. This is moving too fast. I agreed to pretend, not to leave with you. You agreed to be mine for 3 months. That starts now. His expression darkened. Get in the car, Aria. Or go back inside and face your ex alone. Your choice. I looked back at the reception hall. Through the windows, I could see Jason arguing with his bride, pointing in our direction. I could see the pitying looks from people who'd watched me fall apart. I got in the car. Killian slid in beside me, and the door closed with a final sounding click. As we pulled away, I realized I'd just made a deal with a man I knew nothing about. A man who might be connected to the mob. A man whose cold eyes held secrets that terrified me. Where are we going? My voice shook. Killian stared out the window. Home. Your home. Our home. For the next 3 months. He finally looked at me, and something flickered in his expression. Recognition again. Or maybe hatred. Welcome to your new life, Aria Bennett. I promise you, it's going to be unforgettable. The way he said it sounded like a threat. And as the city lights blurred past us, I realized I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life. Chapter 2. The gates opened to reveal a mansion that looked more like a fortress. High walls surrounded the property. Security cameras were everywhere. Men in black suits patrolled the grounds with guns visible at their hips. This wasn't a home. This was a compound. What exactly do you do for a living? I asked as we drove through. Killian didn't answer. He just stared ahead like I hadn't spoken. The car stopped in front of massive double doors. Before I could reach for the handle, Killian was out and opening my door. He extended his hand and I took it, my legs shaky as I stepped onto the marble driveway. The mansion was stunning. All white stone and tall windows, with ivy crawling up one side. It should have been beautiful. Instead, it felt cold. Empty. A woman in her 50s met us at the door. Mr. Cross, welcome home. I've prepared the guest room as instructed. Thank you, Margaret. Killian's hand pressed against my lower back, guiding me inside. This is Aria. She'll be staying with us. Make sure she has everything she needs. Margaret's eyes widened slightly, but she nodded. Of course, sir. The inside was even more intimidating than the outside. Everything was sleek, modern, expensive. Black marble floors. White walls. Minimal furniture. It looked like a museum, not a home. Your room is upstairs, Killian said. 3rd door on the left. Margaret will show you. Wait. I grabbed his arm. We need to talk about this. About rules, boundaries, what exactly you expect from me. He looked down at my hand on his arm, then back at my face. Rule 1. When we're in public, you belong to me. You smile when I tell you to, stand where I tell you to, leave when I tell you to. Rule 2. You don't ask questions about my business. Rule 3. You don't leave this property without my permission or my security. That's insane. You can't keep me prisoner. I'm keeping you safe. His voice was hard. You have no idea what world you just entered, Aria. Until you do, you follow my rules. And if I refuse, then I'll have my driver take you back to that wedding reception right now. I'm sure Jason would love to see you again. He leaned closer. Or you can stay, play your part, and get exactly what you want. Revenge. Dignity. A chance to show everyone you're not the pathetic girl crying in a garden. His words cut deep because they were true. I hated that they were true. Fine, I whispered. 3 months. Then I'm done. 3 months, he agreed. But something in his eyes said he was lying. Margaret led me upstairs to a bedroom that was bigger than my entire apartment. It had a king-sized bed, a sitting area, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the grounds. A bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people. "Mr. Cross asked me to provide you with clothes," Margaret said, opening a massive closet. It was full of dresses, all in my size. "If you need anything else, just press the button by the bed." How did he know my size? But Margaret was already leaving. I sat on the bed, my mind reeling. This was crazy. Completely insane. I should call someone. My sister. My best friend. Tell them where I was. But what would I say? That I'd agreed to fake date a possible mob boss to make my ex jealous? That I'd moved into his fortress mansion after knowing him for an hour? A scream shattered my thoughts. I jumped up and ran to the door, pressing my ear against it. Voices shouted downstairs. Then another scream, this time from a man. It was filled with pain and terror. My hands shook as I opened the door and crept into the hallway. The sounds were coming from below, from somewhere deep in the house. I should go back to my room. Lock the door. Pretend I heard nothing. Instead, I followed the screams. I found a staircase hidden behind a door I'd thought was a closet. It led down into darkness. The screaming got louder. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might explode. At the bottom was a hallway. At the end of that hallway was a door slightly open. Light spilled through. And inside, I could see Killian. He stood over a man tied to a chair. Blood covered the man's face. Killian's suit jacket was off, his white shirt stained red. He held something in his hand. Something metal that glinted in the light. "I'll ask you one more time," Killian said, his voice calm, almost bored. "Who sent you?" "I don't know. I swear, I don't know." The man sobbed. Wrong answer. What happened next made me press my hand over my mouth to keep from screaming. Killian moved fast, brutal, and the man's shriek echoed off the concrete walls. I stumbled backward, my stomach churning. I was going to be sick. I ran back up the stairs, barely making it to my room before I threw up in the bathroom. This wasn't pretend. This wasn't some game. Killian Cross wasn't just a businessman with a bad reputation. He was a monster. A real one. And I'd just agreed to live with him. I was washing my face when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. My blood ran cold as I opened it. It was a photo of my little sister Lily. She was leaving her college dorm, completely unaware someone was photographing her. Another text came through. "We know about your deal with Cross. We know where your sister lives. We know everything." My hands shook so badly I dropped the phone. No. Lily was supposed to be safe. She was 5 hours away at school. She had nothing to do with this. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Then a knock at my door. "Aria," Killian's voice. "Open the door." I grabbed my phone and opened the door. He stood there, his shirt still stained with blood, his expression unreadable. "You saw," he said. It wasn't a question. "Someone's watching my sister." I shoved the phone at him. "Someone sent me this. They know about us." He looked at the photos and his jaw clenched. "When did you get this?" "Just now." "Killian, you have to let me go. If something happens to Lily because of me, because of this stupid fake relationship, nothing is going to happen to your sister." He handed back my phone. "I'm sending security to her campus tonight. She'll have protection whether she knows it or not." "That's not good enough. Let me go. End this now before." "Before what?" He stepped closer and I backed up, my body hitting the doorframe. "You think leaving will keep her safe? You're already involved, Aria. They already know. The only thing keeping both of you alive right now is me." Tears burned my eyes. "What have you gotten me into? Something I'm going to get you out of." His hand came up to cup my face, surprisingly gentle. "But you need to trust me. Can you do that? I don't even know you. Then get to know me. You have 3 months. His thumb brushed away a tear I didn't know had fallen. "Your sister will be safe. You have my word." The word of a man who tortures people in his basement? Something flickered in his eyes. Regret, maybe. Or shame. That man tried to kill me last week. He worked for people who want me dead. People who would use you and your sister to hurt me if they could. He stepped back. "This is my world, Aria. I warned you it was dangerous. You didn't warn me it was a death sentence. It doesn't have to be." He moved toward the stairs. "Get some rest. Tomorrow we start showing the world that you're mine. That means anyone who touches you touches me. And no one is stupid enough to do that." He left me standing there, shaking, terrified, trapped in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I looked at my phone again. At the photo of Lily, smiling, innocent, unaware that her life was in danger because of me. I wanted to call her, warn her, but what would I say? Instead, I locked my door and pushed a chair against it. Not that it would stop Killian if he wanted in. Nothing would stop a man like him. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sounds of the house. Footsteps, doors closing, and somewhere below, the faint echo of that man's screams still ringing in my ears. What had I done? And more terrifying, how was I going to survive the next 3 months? Chapter 3. 3 days passed in Killian's fortress, and I felt like a prisoner in a gilded cage. I barely saw him. He left early every morning and came back late at night. Margaret brought me meals. Security guards followed me whenever I walked the grounds. I called Lily every day, pretending everything was fine, while armed men Killian had sent watched her from the shadows. On the 4th day, Jason called. I stared at his name on my screen, my heart racing. I shouldn't answer. But part of me, the stupid part that still loved him, needed to hear his voice. Hello, Aria, thank God. He sounded desperate. I need to see you. Please. Just give me an hour. There's so much I need to explain. Jason, we have nothing to talk about. Yes, we do. This wedding, this marriage, it was a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. He was crying. Actually crying. She left me. After the reception, she said she couldn't marry someone who was clearly still in love with someone else. She's filing for annulment. My breath caught. What? I never stopped loving you, Aria. I was scared, I was stupid, but seeing you with that man, with Killian Cross, it made me realize what I lost. His voice broke. Please, meet me. Let me explain everything. Let me fix this. My mind screamed no. This was manipulation. This was Jason being Jason, wanting what he couldn't have. But my heart, my stupid broken heart, whispered yes. Where? I heard myself ask. The coffee shop where we had our first date. Remember? Tomorrow at noon. Please, Aria. Just 1 hour. I hung up and stared at the wall. This was insane. Killian would never let me leave. And even if he did, was I really stupid enough to believe Jason? But what if he meant it? What if he really wanted me back? The next morning, I waited until Killian left. Then I told Margaret I had a headache and was going to rest. She believed me. Why wouldn't she? The security at the gate was harder. But I'd been watching them for days. I knew their patterns. I knew the blind spots in the cameras. At 11:30, I slipped out through the garden, climbed the wall where the ivy was thickest, and dropped onto the street below. Freedom felt incredible. I caught a cab to the coffee shop, my heart pounding with anticipation. Jason was already there, sitting at our old table, looking like he hadn't slept in days. When he saw me, his face lit up. You came. I shouldn't have. But I sat down anyway. For an hour, he talked. He apologized, he cried. He told me everything I'd once dreamed of hearing. That he'd made a mistake. That he wanted me back. That we could start over. I know about Killian Cross, Jason said, taking my hand. I know you're living with him. But Aria, that man is dangerous. He's involved in organized crime. If you stay with him, you'll end up dead or in prison. It's not real, I admitted. We're just pretending. It's a business arrangement. Jason's eyes widened. So you're not actually together? No. It's fake. Then leave him. Come back to me. We can fix this. We can fix us. He squeezed my hand. I love you, Aria. I never stopped. God, I wanted to believe him. I wanted it so badly it hurt. I need time to think, I said. Of course. Take all the time you need. He smiled, and for a moment, he looked like the Jason I'd fallen in love with. Can I drop you home? I should have said no. I should have sensed something was wrong. But I was so caught up in the fantasy of having him back that I didn't notice the fear in his eyes. The way his hands shook. The sweat on his forehead despite the cool air. Sure, I said. We walked to his car and I got in. He started driving, but instead of heading toward Killian's mansion, he turned the opposite direction. Where are we going? I asked. There's something I need to show you first. Something that will help you understand why you need to leave Killian. His voice was strange now. Tight. Wrong. Jason, take me home. I can't. His hands gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles were white. I'm sorry, Aria. I'm so sorry. They said they'd kill me if I didn't. Ice flooded my veins. What are you talking about? My debts. The gambling. I owe people money. A lot of money. And they said if I brought you to them, they'd clear everything. Tears streamed down his face. I'm sorry. I had no choice. You bastard. I lunged for the door handle, but he'd locked it. Let me out. I can't. They'll kill me. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. He pulled into an abandoned warehouse district. 3 black SUVs were waiting. Men poured out, all armed, all wearing masks. Jason unlocked the doors and I tried to run, but they were too fast. Hands grabbed me, dragged me out of the car. I screamed and fought, but there were too many of them. Good job, one of them said to Jason. He tossed him an envelope. Now get out of here before we change our minds about letting you live. Jason didn't even look at me. He just took the money and drove away. They threw me into one of the SUVs. Someone put a bag over my head. I couldn't see, couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Killian Cross thinks he can move into our territory without consequences, a voice said. Let's see if he still thinks that after we're done with his little girlfriend. No, this couldn't be happening. I tried to scream, but someone hit me and everything went dark. When I woke up, I was in hell. A concrete room. No windows. One door. I was tied to a chair, my wrists already raw from the ropes. My head throbbed where they'd hit me. She's awake, someone said. 3 men entered. Their faces were covered, but their eyes were cold, empty. The eyes of people who'd done terrible things and would do them again without hesitation. We're going to ask you some questions about Killian Cross, the leader said. And you're going to answer them. I don't know anything. My voice was hoarse. We're not really together. It's fake. I don't know anything about his business. Wrong answer. The first hit broke my lip. The second cracked something in my ribs. By the third, I was begging them to stop. But they didn't stop. For 3 days, they didn't stop. They asked about Killian's operations, his warehouses, his connections. I told them I didn't know. They didn't believe me. Why would they? Killian's girlfriend should know these things. The pain became everything. I stopped thinking about escape. Stopped thinking about surviving. I just prayed for it to end. On the 3rd night, something changed. Explosions rocked the building. Gunfire erupted. My captors ran out, leaving me alone in the dark. I heard screaming. Men dying. And then footsteps getting closer. The door burst open and Killian stood there, covered in blood that wasn't his, holding a gun, looking like the angel of death himself. Aria. His voice cracked when he saw me. The ice in his eyes melted into something that looked almost human. Horror. Rage. Pain. He cut through my ropes and caught me as I collapsed. I've got you. I've got you. Jason, I whispered through broken lips. He sold me. I know. And he's going to pay for it. Killian lifted me like I weighed nothing. But first, I'm getting you out of here. Bodies littered the hallway. Killian had killed them all. Every single one. For me. We made it outside where more of his men waited. They rushed me into an SUV and Killian climbed in beside me, still holding me, refusing to let go. Hospital, he barked at the driver. No hospitals, I mumbled. They'll ask questions. I have a doctor on call. He'll meet us at the house. His hand touched my face so gently, like I was made of glass. Aria, I'm sorry. This is my fault. I should have protected you better. I should have. You came for me. I looked up at him through swollen eyes. You found me. I'll always find you. The way he said it sounded like a promise. Or maybe a threat. At that moment, I didn't care which. I passed out again, and when I woke up, I was back in my room at the mansion. A doctor was there, patching me up, telling Killian I had 3 broken ribs, a concussion, and various other injuries that would heal in time. The physical wounds would heal. But the betrayal, the torture, the way Jason had looked at me before driving away with his blood money, that would scar forever. Killian sat beside my bed all night. I pretended to sleep, but I watched him through half-closed eyes. He looked defeated. Guilty. And for the first time, human. I'm going to destroy him, he whispered, thinking I couldn't hear. Jason. Everyone who touched you. I'm going to make them suffer in ways they can't imagine. And I believed him. But as I drifted back to sleep, one thought kept circling my mind. Why did Killian care so much? Why did he look at me sometimes like he knew me, like I was more than just a fake girlfriend, more than just a pawn in whatever game he was playing? What wasn't he telling me? Chapter 4. 2 weeks passed, and I was still recovering. The physical wounds were healing, but the nightmares never stopped. Every night, I woke up screaming. And every night, Killian was there. He'd moved into the room next to mine after the kidnapping. He never said why. But whenever I screamed, he appeared within seconds. He never touched me without permission. Never pushed. He just sat in the chair by my bed until I fell back asleep. You don't have to do this, I said one night after another nightmare. I'm fine. You're not fine. He looked tired. Older. And it's my fault you're not fine. How is this your fault? Jason betrayed me. Those men kidnapped me. They took you to hurt me. His hands clenched into fists. Everything that's happened to you is because of me, Aria. Because of who I am, what I do, the enemies I've made. Then tell me the truth. All of it. I sat up, ignoring the pain in my ribs. Who are you really? Why did you choose me at that wedding? Why do you sometimes look at me like you hate me? He went silent for a long moment. Then he stood and walked to the window. Your father's name was Marcus Bennett. My breath caught. Was. You thought he abandoned you when you were 10. He didn't. He was taken from you. Killian's voice was hollow. He was my father's business partner. They ran the organization together. Until my father claimed your father stole from us, betrayed us, and sentenced him to death. The room spun. What are you saying? Your father is alive, Aria. He's been alive this whole time. He's been here, in my house, in the cells beneath us. He finally turned to look at me. I've been keeping him prisoner for 10 years. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. You're lying. I wish I was. He moved toward the door. Come with me. It's time you knew everything. I should have stayed in bed. Should have refused. But I had to know. I had to see. Killian led me down through the house to that same hidden staircase I'd found my first night here. But this time we went deeper. Past the interrogation room. Past the cells full of enemies. To the very end of the hallway where a single door stood. He opened it and stepped aside. I'll be right here if you need me. The room was small but clean. A bed, a bathroom, books on shelves. And sitting in a chair by the window was a man I barely recognized. He was thin, gaunt, his hair completely gray. But his eyes, those eyes were the same ones I remembered from my childhood. The same ones I'd cried for when he disappeared. Dad! My voice broke on the word. He stood slowly, tears streaming down his face. Aria? My God, Aria, is it really you? I ran to him and he caught me, holding me like he'd never let go, and we both sobbed. 10 years. 10 years I'd thought he was dead or worse, thought he'd abandoned us. I'm sorry, he kept saying. I'm so sorry you had to grow up without me. What happened? Tell me everything. We sat, and he told me a story that made everything worse. How he and Killian's father, Victor Cross, had built the organization together. How Victor had wanted more power, more control. How Marcus had refused to expand into drugs and human trafficking, saying there were lines they shouldn't cross. Victor framed me, my father said. He planted evidence that I was stealing, that I was planning to betray the family. He took everything from me and threw me in here to rot. He told me he'd killed you and your sister and mother if I ever tried to escape or tell the truth. But Mom thought you were dead. We all did. Because that's what Victor told everyone. He staged my death, made it look like a rival family killed me, and then brought me here. His hands shook. I've been here ever since. I stopped counting the years. Does Killian know? But even as I asked, I realized he did. That's why he'd looked at me with such hatred at the wedding. That's why he'd chosen me. This whole thing, the fake relationship, it was revenge. He knew who I was. Aria, wait. My father grabbed my hand. Killian isn't like his father. When Victor died last year, Killian came down here. He told me his father had confessed everything on his deathbed. Confessed to the frame-up, the lies, all of it. Then why are you still here? Because Killian's uncle, Vincent, runs half the organization. He's the one who actually ordered the frame-up, who pulled the strings. Victor was just his puppet. My father's voice dropped to a whisper. Vincent can't know I'm alive, or that Killian knows the truth. He'd kill us all. A sound behind me made me turn. Killian stood in the doorway, his face ashen. Vincent's here, he said. Upstairs. He just arrived unannounced with 15 of his men. My father went pale. He knows. How? I asked. Because someone told him. Killian pulled out his phone and showed me a photo. It was from the security footage. Of me, walking down to the cells. He has someone inside my security team. They've been watching everything. A gunshot cracked through the air upstairs. Then another. Screams followed. They're killing everyone, Killian said. He handed me a gun. Do you know how to use this? No. Then learn fast. He turned to my father. Marcus, can you still fight? For my daughter? I'd fight the devil himself. More gunshots. Closer now. They were coming down the stairs. Killian positioned himself in front of the door. When they breach, stay behind me. Both of you. There has to be another way out, I said. There isn't. My father took the gun from me. But there's a phone in the interrogation room. A secure line. If we can get there, we can call for help. From who? I asked. Anyone who hates Vincent as much as we do. My father looked at me, including Killian's rival families. They'll want something in return, Killian said. I know. My father's voice was grim. That's why I'm going to offer them the one thing they've wanted for years. Me, the man who knows where all of Victor's bodies are buried. No, I grabbed his arm. I just got you back. I'm not losing you again. You won't lose me. But right now, we need allies more than we need pride. He kissed my forehead. Trust me, sweetheart. I've survived 10 years in hell. I can survive this. Footsteps thundered down the hallway. Vincent's voice called out, Killian, I know you're down here. I know you found the traitor. Come out and maybe I'll make it quick. Killian looked at me, really looked at me, and something passed between us. An understanding. A promise. Stay alive, he said. No matter what happens next, you stay alive. Then he kicked open the door and started shooting. The next 5 minutes were chaos. Gunfire. Screaming. Blood. My father dragged me toward the interrogation room while Killian held off Vincent's men. We made it inside and my father grabbed the phone. This is Marcus Bennett, he said to whoever answered. I have information on Victor Cross's entire operation. Names, dates, locations. Everything. In exchange, I need immediate extraction for 3 people. A pause. Then, deal. But you have to survive the next 20 minutes. We're sending helicopters now. 20 minutes felt like a lifetime when people were trying to kill you. An explosion rocked the hallway. Killian stumbled into the room, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. They're using grenades. We need to move now. Help is coming, my father said. 20 minutes. We don't have 20 minutes. Killian reloaded his gun. Vincent brought enough firepower to level this entire basement. That's when I heard it. A voice I recognized. Cold. Calculating. Evil. Killian, nephew, this is disappointing. Vincent stepped into view at the end of the hallway, flanked by armed men. He was older, gray-haired, with eyes like a snake. I raised you better than this. You don't betray family. You framed an innocent man, Killian shouted back. You manipulated my father. You've been stealing from the family for decades. I've been running this family while weak men like your father played at being honorable. Vincent laughed. And now you're going to die for a man who means nothing and a girl who's just using you. She's Marcus Bennett's daughter, Killian said. The man you destroyed. The man whose life you stole. I'm making this right. How noble. Vincent raised his gun. Say goodbye, Killian. The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space. But Killian didn't fall. Vincent did. Behind Vincent, one of his own men lowered his weapon. He pulled off his mask and I gasped. He was younger, maybe 30, with the same dark eyes as Killian. Hello, brother, the man said. Killian's face went white. Roman. Surprised. Roman stepped over Vincent's body. The old man was still alive, gasping, clutching his chest. I've been waiting years for this moment. I thought you were dead, Killian whispered. That's what father wanted everyone to think. But mother hid me. Raised me outside the family. And when I was old enough, I came back to watch. To wait. To plan. Roman's eyes shifted to me. And imagine my surprise when you brought Marcus Bennett's daughter into your home. The same man whose territory I now control. My blood ran cold. What? I'm the rival boss, Aria. The one who's been attacking Killian's operations. The one whose men kidnapped you. He smiled and it was cruel. Though I didn't know who you were then. If I had, I would have been much more careful with you. This couldn't be happening. Killian's brother was the enemy? The one who'd tortured me? Why? Killian's voice shook with rage. Why do all this? Because mother loved you more. Roman's mask slipped, revealing raw pain underneath. She stayed with father for you. She endured his abuse for you. And then when he finally threw her out, she had nothing. We had nothing. While you lived in mansions, I grew up in poverty. I didn't know, Killian said. I was a child. And I was nothing. Roman's gun swung toward me. But now I have leverage. Marry her to me, Killian. Merge your territories with mine. Or I'll kill her and Marcus both. Don't you dare touch her. Why? Because you love her. Roman laughed. Oh, this is perfect. You actually fell for the daughter of the man you imprisoned. The irony is beautiful. On the floor, Vincent coughed blood. You fool, he gasped at Roman. You think you've won? I have contingencies. Men loyal only to me. They'll hunt you down. Not if you're dead, they won't. Roman aimed at Vincent's head. Wait! I stepped forward, my mind racing. Vincent orchestrated everything, right? The frame-up, the wars, all of it. He has evidence, documentation. Names of everyone he's worked with, everyone he's paid off. Roman paused. So let him live. For now. Use him to dismantle his network. Then you don't have to worry about his contingencies. I looked at Killian. And in exchange, Roman, you let my father go. He's been in hell for 10 years. He deserves freedom. And what do I get? Roman asked. Me. The word came out before I could stop it. I'll marry you. I'll unite the families. Just let them go. All of them. No, Killian and my father said simultaneously. But Roman smiled. Deal. But we do this now. Before those helicopters arrive. My father grabbed my arm. Aria, you can't. I can and I will. I looked at Killian, memorizing his face. You saved me. Now I'm saving you. Killian's eyes were wild with something that looked like panic. Don't do this. There has to be another way. There isn't. I touched his face, feeling the stubble on his jaw, the warmth of his skin. Thank you for everything. For finding me, for protecting me, for showing me I was worth saving. Aria, He stopped, swallowed hard. I need to tell you something. No time for confessions, Roman interrupted. My men are already preparing the ceremony. And Killian, you'll watch. You'll watch me take the woman you love and know you lost her because of your own pride. They dragged me away. I looked back once and saw Killian on his knees, his father beside him, both of them broken. And I wondered if I'd just made a deal with a devil worse than Vincent ever was. Roman took me upstairs to the main hall, where his men had set up a mockery of a wedding. A priest who looked terrified. Flowers that probably came from the garden. And a dress, white and beautiful and wrong. Put it on, Roman ordered. You have 10 minutes. In a bathroom, I changed with shaking hands. This was insane. I was about to marry a man who'd tortured me, who hated his brother, who wanted power more than anything. But it would save my father. It would save Killian. And maybe somehow I could find a way to survive this too. When I walked out, Roman's eyes lit up with triumph. Perfect. Shall we begin? The ceremony was a blur. Words I didn't hear. Promises I didn't mean. And then Roman was pulling out a ring, sliding it onto my finger. You may kiss the bride. He leaned in and I closed my eyes, preparing for the worst. The doors burst open. Killian stood there, wild-eyed and bloody, holding something in his hand. A phone. Stop the wedding, he shouted. Roman, you need to see this. I don't need to see anything. It's Mother. Killian's voice broke. She's been trying to reach you for hours. She's dying, Roman. Car accident. She's asking for both of us. The color drained from Roman's face. What? The hospital just called. She has maybe an hour. Killian held out the phone. Listen to the message. Roman snatched it and pressed play. A woman's weak voice filled the room. My boys. Both my boys. Please come. I don't have much time. I need to see you. I need to tell you both how much I love you before I go. Roman's hands shook. The gun dropped from his fingers. No, this can't be happening. We need to go now, Killian said. Both of us. She deserves to see her sons one last time. For a moment, Roman looked like a lost child instead of a crime boss. Then he turned to his men. Keep them here. All of them. If I'm not back in 2 hours, kill them all. He and Killian left together, and I stood there in a wedding dress, married but not married, trapped between two brothers and their dying mother. My father appeared from wherever they'd been keeping him. He pulled me into his arms. What have you done? What I had to. But even as I said it, I wondered if this was how I'd die. In a wedding dress. Waiting for two brothers to return. Hoping at least one of them would choose mercy. Chapter 5. They kept us in the main hall under armed guard. 2 hours passed. Then 3. No word from Killian or Roman. My father paced like a caged animal. Something's wrong. They should be back by now. Vincent was there too, tied to a chair, still bleeding from his chest wound. He laughed wetly. You're all dead. When Roman comes back, he'll kill you just to spite Killian. That's what this family does. We destroy each other. Shut up, one of the guards said. But Vincent kept talking. That girl on the phone, their mother, she abandoned them both. She doesn't deserve their grief. And Roman knows it. He's probably figured out by now that it was a trap. My heart sank. A trap. Killian played him. Got him out of the house so his real reinforcements could arrive. Vincent's smile was bloody. Your boyfriend is smarter than I gave him credit for. As if summoning them, gunfire erupted outside. Not grenades this time. Something bigger. Organized. The guards ran to the windows. It's the police. SWAT teams. They're surrounding the property. No, my father said. Look at their uniforms. Those aren't police. He was right. They wore tactical gear but no badges. And they moved like soldiers, not cops. Private military, Vincent wheezed. Killian hired mercenaries. The front doors exploded inward. Men poured in, weapons raised, and Roman's guards didn't stand a chance. It was over in seconds. Then Killian walked in, covered in blood that definitely wasn't his. Behind him, a woman in a wheelchair. She was middle-aged, frail, but very much alive. Mother, I heard myself say. She looked at me with kind eyes. You must be Aria. My son has told me so much about you in the last hour. But the message, the dying, was recorded 3 years ago when I actually was in an accident, she explained. I recovered, but I saved the recording in case I ever needed to manipulate Roman. He always was a mama's boy. Where is he? I asked. Killian's jaw clenched. Locked in a car outside. Sedated. He'll wake up in a few hours and by then, this will all be over. What will be over? Vincent's empire. Roman's operations. All of it. Killian gestured and his men dragged Vincent to his feet. Vincent is going to give us every name, every location, every dirty secret. And then he's going to disappear. You're going to kill me, Vincent spat. No, I'm going to make you wish I had. Killian turned to me. Aria, you need to decide something right now. That wedding to Roman, it wasn't legal. He's not a priest. But Roman will wake up thinking you're his wife. He'll come for you. So what do? You disappear with your father. I have papers ready. New identities. Money. You can start over somewhere safe. His voice was hollow. Or you stay. You help me end this. But if you stay, there's no going back. You'll be part of this world forever. I looked at my father. He was free. Actually free. We could leave. Go somewhere warm. Forget this nightmare ever happened. But then I looked at Killian. At the man who'd saved me twice. Who'd brought down his own uncle and outsmarted his brother. Who looked at me like I was the only thing holding him together. I'm staying, I said. Aria, no, my father protested. Dad, you go. Please. Take the new identity. Live the life you should have had. I hugged him tight. I need to finish this. For both of us. He pulled back, tears in his eyes. You're so much like your mother. Brave and stubborn and too good for this world. Then I'll just have to make this world better. They took my father away. Safe. Protected. Free. And I turned back to Killian. Now what? Now we make Roman an offer he can't refuse. Killian's mother wheeled herself forward. My son loves you, Aria. And not the fake love you agreed to. Real love. The kind that makes a man willing to burn down everything he's built. Mother, Killian warned. Let me finish. She looked at me. Roman loves me. He's angry, hurt, but he loves me. And if I ask him to, he'll agree to a truce. A real one. Why would you help us? I asked. Because I'm tired of my sons hating each other. I'm tired of this family destroying itself. She took my hand. And because when Killian called me from that hospital, thinking I was dying, he didn't talk about his empire or his revenge. He talked about you. About how you gave yourself up to save him. About how he couldn't lose you. I looked at Killian. His face was red. Mother, that's private. Not anymore. She smiled. So here's my proposal. We wake Roman. I convince him to meet with both of you. And we end this war. Together. It was insane. But then again, everything about the last month had been insane. Okay, I said. Let's do it. They woke Roman in a secure room with all of us present. His mother. Killian. Me. And enough guards to stop him if he tried anything stupid. His eyes opened slowly, then snapped to full awareness. What? Where am I? Safe, his mother said softly. All of us are safe. Mother? He tried to sit up, but he was still groggy. The accident was 3 years ago. I'm sorry, baby. Killian used an old recording to get you out of the house. Roman's face twisted with rage. He tricked me. He saved you. She wheeled closer. Vincent had orders to kill you once the wedding was done. You were never his partner. You were his puppet, just like Victor was. That's a lie. It's not. Killian stepped forward. We have the documents. Vincent was going to frame you for everything, turn you over to the feds, and take your territory. You would have been dead or in prison within a week. Roman looked between them, confusion and anger warring on his face. Why should I believe you? Because I'm your brother. Killian's voice was softer than I'd ever heard it. And because despite everything, I don't want you dead. You kept my girl, though. Roman's eyes found me. Or is the wedding really invalid? It's invalid, I said. But Roman, even if it wasn't, I could never love you. You tortured me. You kidnapped me. You tried to use me as a weapon. I didn't know who you were then. Would it have mattered? I challenged. Or would you have hurt me worse? He looked away, and that was answer enough. I'm offering you a choice, Killian said. Join us. Really join us. Help us dismantle Vincent's network and build something better. Or take the papers, the money, and disappear. Start over somewhere new. Why would you let me go? Because Mother asked me to. Killian glanced at the woman in the wheelchair. And because you're right. She did suffer because of Father. Because of me. I can't change the past. But I can try to make the future different. Roman's hands clenched into fists. For a long moment, nobody breathed. Then he said, I want immunity. Full immunity for everything I've done. And I want my own territory, separate from yours. Done, Killian said immediately. And I want her. Roman pointed at me. Not to marry. But I want her to work for me. She's smart. She thinks fast. She talked Vincent into keeping himself alive. That's useful. No, Killian growled. Wait. I put a hand on his arm. What kind of work? Strategy. Planning. You'd have your own team. Your own resources. Roman actually looked sincere. I need people who aren't afraid to challenge me. People who tell the truth even when it's hard. It was a strange offer. But maybe it was also an olive branch. A way for Roman to feel like he'd won something. 1 day a week, I said. I'll consult for you 1 day a week. The rest of my time is mine. Roman smiled. Deal. Killian looked like he wanted to argue. But his mother touched his hand and he stayed quiet. Then it's settled, she said. My boys work together. They rebuild this family into something we can be proud of. And Aria, you make sure they don't kill each other in the process. It wasn't a perfect solution. But it was a solution. And for the first time since that wedding where this all started, I felt like maybe, just maybe, we'd all survive this. Chapter 6. 2 weeks later, Roman insisted on having a celebration. To commemorate the new alliance. To show the other families that the Cross brothers were united. I didn't want to go. I'd had enough of parties and weddings to last a lifetime. But Killian said we had to show strength. Had to prove the peace was real. So I put on another dress. Another pair of heels. And I let Killian lead me into a ballroom full of the most dangerous people in the city. Roman was already there, playing the perfect host. He'd cleaned up in the last 2 weeks. Looked less wild, more controlled. But I didn't trust him. Not yet. Aria, you look lovely, he said when he saw me. Killian, brother, thank you for coming. Wouldn't miss it, Killian said flatly. The tension between them was thick enough to cut. This alliance was fragile. One wrong move and it would all fall apart. I was talking to Roman's business manager when I heard someone say, Is that Jason Blackwell? What's he doing here? My blood turned to ice. I spun around and there he was. Jason. The man who'd sold me. The man who'd caused all of this. He saw me and his face went white. He tried to back toward the exit, but Roman's guards blocked him. Interesting, Roman said, appearing beside me. I didn't invite him. Did you, brother? Killian's hand went to his jacket, where I knew he kept his gun. No. Then how did he get in? Roman gestured, and his guards dragged Jason forward. Mr. Blackwell. What an unexpected surprise. I was told this was a public event, Jason stammered. I'm sorry, I didn't know. You didn't know the woman you sold to kidnappers would be here? I stepped forward, my voice cold. Or you didn't care. Aria, please, I had no choice. They would have killed me. And they tortured me. I was shaking with rage. For 3 days. Because of you. I'm sorry. I'll do anything to make it right. Anything. Roman's smile was dangerous. Interesting. Because I've been looking into you, Jason. You have quite a bit of debt. Gambling. Bad investments. You owe money to some very unpleasant people. I'm working on paying it back. No need. Roman snapped his fingers and someone brought forward a briefcase. He opened it to reveal stacks of cash. Here's what you owe. Every penny. Your debt is cleared. Jason stared. Why would you do that? Because now you owe me. Roman's voice dropped to a whisper that everyone could still hear. And I'm going to give you a choice. Option 1, you leave the city tonight. You never come back. You never speak Aria's name again. And you live your sad little life somewhere far away. And option 2? Jason asked. Option 2 is you stay. And I let Aria decide what happens to you. All eyes turned to me. Killian moved closer, his hand on my back. You don't have to do this. But I did. I needed to face the man who'd betrayed me. Needed to look him in the eyes and take back my power. I want him to feel what I felt, I said quietly. I want him to know what it's like to be completely helpless. To have your life in someone else's hands. To beg for mercy that doesn't come. Jason fell to his knees. Please, Aria. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I looked down at him. This man I'd once loved. This man I'd planned to marry. And I felt nothing. No love. No hate. Just emptiness. Leave, I said. Take the money. Leave tonight. And if I ever see you again, I won't be this kind. Thank you, he sobbed. Thank you, thank you. Get him out of here, Roman ordered. The guards dragged Jason away, still crying. The ballroom was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Soon the whole room was applauding. Well done, Roman said to me. That was merciful. More merciful than I would have been. Mercy doesn't make me weak. No, it makes you dangerous. He raised his glass. To Aria Bennett, the woman who brought the Cross brothers together. Everyone drank. Everyone smiled. Everything seemed perfect. That's when the windows exploded. Glass rained down as armed men rappelled into the ballroom. They wore masks, but I recognized their tactical style. Vincent's men. The ones who'd stayed loyal even after he disappeared. Nobody move, the leader shouted. This ends tonight. Killian pushed me behind him. Roman's guards drew weapons. The guests screamed and dove for cover. Where's Vincent? The leader demanded. Tell us where he is or everyone dies. Vincent's gone, Roman said. We don't know where. Liar. The leader fired into the ceiling. We know you took him. We know you have him somewhere. And we're going to search every property you own until we find him. That's when I saw him. In the back of the group. A man without a mask. Older, scarred, familiar. My father. But that was impossible. He'd left. He was supposed to be safe. He saw me looking and shook his head slightly. A warning. Don't react. We'll give you Vincent, Killian said. But first, you let the civilians go. This is between us. No deals. The leader pressed his gun to a woman's head. She whimpered. You have 60 seconds to tell us where Vincent is, or I start killing hostages. My mind raced. Why was my father here? What was he doing with Vincent's men? Then it hit me. He wasn't captured. He was with them voluntarily. Which meant everything we thought we knew was wrong. Dad! I called out. What's going on? Every gun in the room swung toward me. The leader's eyes widened behind his mask. Bennett's daughter? Well, this is interesting. My father stepped forward, his face grim. Let me talk to her. Alone. 2 minutes. You have 1 minute, the leader said. My father walked toward me and Killian tried to stop him, but I held up a hand. Let him through. We stood face to face, this man I'd just gotten back, this man I thought I knew. They have Lily, he whispered. Vincent's men. They grabbed her from her campus 2 days ago. They said if I didn't help them get Vincent back, they'd kill her. The world tilted. No. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you. They were watching. Listening. His eyes were desperate. Please, Aria. Tell them where Vincent is. Save your sister. We don't know where he is, I said. Killian had him moved to a secure location. He didn't tell anyone where. Then we're all going to die. My father looked broken. Because these men won't leave without Vincent or blood. And they have nothing left to lose. The minute was up. The leader approached. Well, do we have a deal? I looked at Killian. He met my eyes and I saw the answer there. He knew where Vincent was. But revealing it would mean war with other families. Would mean breaking agreements. Would mean chaos. But this was my sister. Killian, I said softly. Please. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were resigned. I'll take you to him. But you let everyone here go first. No way. You could be leading us into a trap. Then take me as collateral, I said. I'll go with you. If Killian betrays you, you kill me. Aria, no, Killian growled. It's the only way. I looked at the leader. Do we have a deal? He considered, then nodded. You and your father. You both come. The rest stay here with my men. If Killian tries anything, we kill everyone in this room. It was the worst plan ever. But I didn't see another option. I'm coming too, Roman said. Whatever happens, we face it together. That's what brothers do, right? Killian looked surprised, then grateful. Right. So the 5 of us left. Me, my father, Killian, Roman, and the leader of Vincent's remaining men. We drove in tense silence to a building on the outskirts of the city. Killian led us down into a basement that looked like it had been a cold storage facility. At the end was a door with multiple locks. He's in there, Killian said. But I'm warning you, he's not the same man you remember. We've been interrogating him for 2 weeks. The leader opened the door and we all filed in. Vincent was there, chained to the wall, barely conscious. He'd been beaten, starved, broken. Boss, the leader breathed. What did they do to you? Vincent's head lifted slowly. His eyes focused on the leader and he smiled. A horrible, bloody smile. You idiot, Vincent wheezed. They wanted you to come here. It's a trap. The leader spun toward us, but it was too late. The door slammed shut. Locks engaged. And Killian's voice came through a speaker. I'm sorry, Aria. But this was the only way. What? Killian, let me out. Vincent's men don't have your sister. That was a lie Vincent fed your father. A contingency plan in case he was ever captured. Killian's voice was heavy. Your father is working with Vincent. He has been from the beginning. I looked at my father. No, that's not true. But his face said everything. Guilt. Shame. Truth. I'm sorry, baby, he said. But Victor Cross didn't frame me. I really did betray him. And when Vincent offered me a deal, a chance to get revenge on the family that imprisoned me, I took it. The room spun. This couldn't be happening. My father was the good guy. The victim. You let me think you were innocent, I whispered. You let me fight for you. Because I needed you to. Needed you to get close to Killian. To gather information. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I never stopped working for Vincent. Not even in that cell. And Lily is fine. Safe at school. Unaware of any of this. He finally looked at me. I do love you, Aria. Everything else was a lie, but that was real. Don't. I backed away from him. Don't you dare say you love me. Vincent laughed, coughing blood. Beautiful, isn't it? The long game. Marcus was my inside man for 10 years. Feeding me information. Helping me plan. And now, thanks to your daughter, we've got both Cross brothers exactly where we want them. The building is rigged, the leader said, checking his phone. Bombs in the foundation. Set to blow in 5 minutes. No. I pounded on the door. Killian. Roman. Get out. But there was no answer. My father grabbed my arm. There's still time. The leader can disarm it if they let us out. Tell them to release us and everyone lives. Why would they? Because you matter to Killian. He won't let you die. He was right. I heard Killian's voice again, anguished. Aria, I'm sorry. I didn't know your father was involved. Let us out, I said. Please. We can figure this out. If I let you out, Vincent escapes. His men regroup. The war never ends. Then let me out. Just me. Leave them. She's his daughter, Vincent called out. Killian Cross, the man trying to be better than his father. You going to murder an innocent woman? Because that's what happens if you leave her in here. Silence. Long, terrible silence. Then the locks disengaged. The door opened to reveal Killian and Roman, both holding guns, both looking torn. Get out, Killian said to me. Now. I ran. But at the door, I looked back at my father. The man who'd lied to me. Who'd used me. Who'd broken my heart worse than Jason ever could. I'm sorry, he said again. Me too, I whispered. Then I let Killian pull me out, and the door sealed behind us. We ran. Behind us, Vincent screamed threats. The leader worked frantically on his phone, trying to disarm the bomb. And my father just stood there, accepting his fate. We made it outside with 30 seconds to spare. Killian and Roman's men were everywhere, evacuating nearby buildings, clearing the area. The others, I gasped. At the ballroom. Already evacuated, Roman said. Once we knew it was a trap, we got everyone out. You used me as bait. We used everyone as bait. Killian's voice was hollow. Including ourselves. It was the only way to draw out Vincent's remaining forces. The building exploded. The blast knocked us all to the ground. Fire and debris rained down. And when the smoke cleared, there was nothing left but rubble. Vincent was dead. The leader was dead. And my father was gone. I should have felt sad. Should have cried. But all I felt was empty. Killian helped me up. I'm sorry. I know he was still your father. He stopped being my father the moment he lied to me. I brushed off my dress. Is it over? Is this finally over? Roman appeared on my other side. Vincent's network is destroyed. His men are either dead or scattered. And with Marcus gone, there's no one left who knows where all the bodies are buried. So we won. I laughed bitterly. This is what winning feels like. No, Killian said softly. This is what surviving feels like. Winning comes later. Police sirens approached. Real police this time. We need to go, Roman said. Now. But as we turned to leave, I saw someone in the crowd. Someone familiar. Jason. He was supposed to be gone. Supposed to have left the city. Instead, he was on his phone, talking to someone pointing at us. And I realized with horror that this wasn't over at all. It was just beginning. Chapter 7. The police arrested us at the scene. All three of us. Killian, Roman, and me. They said we were suspects in the bombing. In the deaths of 15 people. In organized crime activities going back years. In the interrogation room, a federal agent sat across from me. Aria Bennett. Age 26. No criminal record. Good job. Normal life. Until you attended your ex-fiancé's wedding and left with Killian Cross. She slid photos across the table. Want to tell me why you've been living with a known organized crime figure? He's not a criminal. Really? Because we have evidence that says otherwise. More photos. Killian leaving crime scenes. Meeting with known criminals. Money transfers to offshore accounts. We've been building a case against him for 3 years. And then you show up and suddenly he's bombing buildings. That wasn't him. That was Vincent Cross. He's dead now. Convenient. She leaned forward. Here's what I think. I think Killian used you to get close to Vincent. And when things went south, he eliminated everyone who could testify against him. Including your father. My father was working with Vincent. Do you have proof? I didn't. Everything I knew came from Vincent's confession in that room. And he was dead now. No body. No evidence. Just rubble. I want a lawyer, I said. Smart girl. The agent stood. But let me tell you something. The only way you're walking out of here is if you testify against Killian Cross. Full immunity in exchange for everything you know. I don't know anything. Then I guess you're going to prison for a very long time. She left me alone in the room. Hours passed. No lawyer. No phone call. Just me and 4 walls and the worst thoughts imaginable. What if they convicted Killian? What if this was how it ended, not with bullets and explosions, but with courtrooms and jail cells? The door opened. But it wasn't the agent. It was Jason. What are you doing here? I asked. I'm with the FBI. He showed me a badge. Have been for 6 months. Since the day you broke up with me. My mouth fell open. What? They approached me. Said they knew I was in debt, knew I was making bad choices. They offered me a deal. Work with them, help them build a case. I'm with the FBI. He showed me a badge. Have been for 6 months. Since the day you broke up with me. My mouth fell open. What? They approached me. Said they knew I was in debt, knew I was making bad choices. They offered me a deal. Work with them, help them build a case against Killian Cross, and all my problems go away. Jason sat across from me. The wedding, the bride leaving me, all of it was staged. To push you toward Killian. I couldn't breathe. You've been working with the FBI this entire time? Yes. And the kidnapping was real. I really did sell you out to pay my debts. The FBI didn't know about that part. He looked ashamed. But everything after, I've been feeding them information. About Killian. About Roman. About Vincent. You used me. I saved you. His voice rose. Do you know what these men are capable of? Killian Cross has killed people, Aria. Dozens of people. And you fell in love with him anyway. I didn't. But I stopped. Because it was true. Somewhere between the terror and the chaos and the lies, I had fallen in love with Killian. With the man who'd saved me. Who'd looked at me like I was worth dying for. Testify against him, Jason urged. Tell them everything. You get immunity. You get your life back. And Killian goes to prison. Where he belongs. Jason reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Aria, please. This is your chance to be free. I am free. For the first time in my life, I'm actually free. I stood. I'm not testifying. I'm not betraying him. And you can tell your FBI friends that they're going to need more than the word of a man who sold his ex-girlfriend to kidnappers. Jason's face hardened. You're making a mistake. Then it's my mistake to make. He left and I sat back down, my heart pounding. What had I just done? I'd basically admitted I was choosing Killian over my freedom. Over everything. Hours later, they moved me to a holding cell. Killian was there, in the cell next to mine. Roman was across the hall. Aria, Killian said when he saw me. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? I'm fine. Jason came to see me. His expression darkened. What did he want? He's FBI. Has been for 6 months. They want me to testify against you. I gripped the bars between our cells. I said no. Killian closed his eyes. You should have said yes. What? This is your way out. Take it. Testify. Save yourself. He wouldn't look at me. I knew this day would come. Knew eventually my past would catch up with me. But you don't have to go down with me. Yes, I do. The words came out fierce. Because I love you, you idiot. I love you and I'm not abandoning you. His head snapped up. You what? I love you. Saying it again felt right. Felt true. I know I shouldn't. I know you're dangerous and damaged and you've done terrible things. But you also saved me. Protected me. Made me feel like I was worth something. So yes, Killian Cross, I love you. He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Then he laughed. A real laugh, full of joy and disbelief. You pick now to tell me this? When we're both about to go to prison. Better late than never. I love you too. He pressed his face against the bars. I've loved you since that garden. Since I saw you crying and broken and still trying to hold yourself together. You're the strongest person I've ever met, Aria. Then we'll be strong together. I reached through the bars and our fingers touched. Whatever happens, we face it together. How touching, Roman called from his cell. But we have bigger problems. Like the fact that the FBI has nothing on us. What do you mean? I asked. Vincent kept everything. Every record, every transaction, every piece of evidence. He kept it all in case he ever needed leverage. Roman smiled. And before he died, he told me where it was hidden. Killian's eyes widened. Where? In his lawyer's safe. The lawyer who's been on retainer for 40 years. The lawyer who has explicit instructions to turn everything over to authorities if Vincent ever dies. Roman's smile got bigger. Except I called that lawyer 3 days ago. Made him a better offer. And now all of Vincent's evidence is sitting in my warehouse. You've had this the whole time? Killian demanded. Insurance. In case our alliance went bad. Roman shrugged. But I'm willing to use it now. For the right price. Name it, I said. Full pardons for all of us. And the FBI drops their investigation permanently. Roman looked at Killian. Can your contacts make that happen? Maybe. But it would require giving them something big. Bigger than Vincent's files. How about a federal judge? A new voice said. We all turned. A woman stood in the hallway, flanked by guards. She was older, elegant, wearing an expensive suit. And she had Killian's eyes. Mother? Killian breathed. What are you doing here? Saving my sons. Both of them. She approached the cells. I'm Judge Killian Cross. I've been on the federal bench for 20 years. And I'm about to do something that will likely end my career. She pulled out a folder. These are signed release orders for all 3 of you. Along with documentation that Vincent Cross was a federal informant who went rogue. That everything he did without government knowledge or approval. That's a lie, I said. Of course it is. She smiled. But it's a lie that protects everyone. The FBI gets to close their case. Vincent's victims get justice. And my sons get to live. She handed the folder to a guard. Execute these orders immediately. Judge Cross, you can't. The guard started. I can and I am. And if anyone has a problem with it, they can take it up with me in my courtroom. Her voice was steel. Now open these cells. They did. Within minutes, we were free. In a private room, Catherine explained everything. I've spent 20 years building goodwill, making connections, earning respect. Tonight, I'm cashing in all of it. The case against you will be dropped. Vincent's files will be sealed as classified. And in exchange, both of you will leave the criminal world completely. Agreed, Killian said immediately. Roman hesitated, then nodded. Agreed. And what about me? I asked. Catherine smiled. You, my dear, are going to help me start a foundation. For victims of organized crime. You understand their pain. You can help them heal. She took my hand. My sons need someone like you. Someone who sees the good in them even when they can't see it themselves. Tears burned my eyes. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. The price for this is high. She looked at her sons. You both have to testify against every remaining member of Vincent's network. Every corrupt cop, every dirty politician, every criminal he did business with. You have to burn it all down. Done, they said together. 6 months later, I stood in a garden. The same garden where this all began. where I'd cried at Jason's wedding and met a dangerous man with dark eyes and darker secrets. But today was different. Today, I was the bride. Killian waited at the altar, wearing a black suit, looking nervous in a way I'd never seen him. Roman stood beside him as best man, the two brothers finally at peace. My father wasn't here to walk me down the aisle. He'd made his choices and paid for them. But I'd made peace with that. Some wounds heal. Others just scar over. Instead, Catherine took my arm. Ready. More than ready. The ceremony was small. Just close friends, family, and the people who'd helped us survive. No mobsters. No criminals. Just normal people living normal lives. Or trying to anyway. When Killian lifted my veil, his hands shook. I can't believe you're real. That this is real. Believe it. I touched his face. We survived, Killian. We actually survived. We did more than survive. He kissed me, soft and sweet and full of promise. We won. The reception was perfect. No explosions. No kidnappings. No betrayals. Just dancing and laughter and joy. Roman gave a speech that made everyone cry. My brother and I lost years to anger and pain. But this woman, this incredible woman, showed us that love is stronger than hate. That family isn't just blood. It's choice. And I choose both of you. Jason sent a card. I threw it away without reading it. He was part of my past, not my future. That night, Killian and I stood on the balcony of our hotel room, looking out at the city. Do you regret it? He asked. Everything that happened. Everything you went through. Not for a second. I leaned into him. It brought me to you. I don't deserve you. Probably not. I smiled. But you're stuck with me anyway. He pulled me closer. I spent so many years being my father's son. Being the monster everyone expected. And then you looked at me and saw something else. Saw someone worth saving. You saved yourself. I just reminded you how. No. You saved me, Aria. From the darkness. From the hate. From becoming everything I was afraid of. His voice broke. I love you. More than I thought I could ever love anything. I love you too. I kissed him. And whatever comes next, we face it together. Together, he agreed. 1 year later, the foundation was thriving. We'd helped over 100 victims of organized crime. Given them resources, therapy, new identities when needed. Given them hope. Roman ran his territory legitimately now. Security consulting. Real estate. Nothing illegal. He visited every week for Sunday dinner, and slowly, the brothers were rebuilding what they'd lost. Killian and I bought a house. Not a fortress. Just a normal house in a normal neighborhood. With a garden where I planted roses. And on quiet nights, when the nightmares came, we held each other and remembered that we'd survived. That love had won. That the darkness didn't define us anymore. One evening, Killian came home with a strange look on his face. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing's wrong. He knelt down in front of me. Everything is perfect. Our life is perfect. And I want to make it more perfect. You already proposed. We're already married. I know. He put his hand on my stomach. But now we're 3. I froze. What? The doctor called me. Confirmed the test results. His eyes were bright with tears. You're pregnant, Aria. We're having a baby. My hand flew to my stomach. A baby. A tiny person made of both of us. A future we'd almost lost a dozen times over. We're having a baby, I whispered. Then louder. We're having a baby. He lifted me up and spun me around, both of us laughing and crying. And I thought about everything we'd been through. The pain, the fear, the betrayals, the loss. But also the love. The strength. The choice to keep fighting even when everything seemed hopeless. This baby would grow up in a different world than we had. A world where love won. Where families healed. Where second chances were possible. What should we name them? Killian asked. Hope, I said immediately. Whether it's a boy or a girl. Hope. Because that's what we found when we had nothing left. Hope Cross. He tested it out. I like it. Me too. We stood there in our normal house in our normal life, holding each other, protecting the tiny life growing between us. And I realized something important. The Mafia boss who saw me crying at my ex's wedding didn't just change my life. He gave me a life worth living. A love worth fighting for. A future worth believing in. And that was worth every scar, every tear, every moment of terror. Because in the end, love really did conquer all. Even in the darkest places. Even for the most broken people. Love found a way. And we found each other. Thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, Please subscribe to my channel for more heartfelt and emotional stories like this one. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Your support truly means the world and helps me create even more amazing content for you. Make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. See you in the next video.